Dumelang, on this fine Tuesday morning. Nakalutsa ke nna Gogo Moyo, and I will be hosting you today on Lunch with Gogo. Please use that hashtag all around on all the platforms so that we can be able to be in synergy when we have these conversations, right? So that you can also see how much of your story is not really unique, and other people have experienced something similar and can also advise you because they've been through them. So this platform is not just to talk about the difficulties of a relationship, but to also grow our community in terms of being able to help one another. I mean, if I went through something like that, I don't think you have to go through the hardship of it, with me watching, especially if I can advise you in some way. You know what I mean? And then we invite spirit, our ancestors, with the card reads. And that's like a lot of sources to be pulling from for all these different conversations that we're going to have. Today, we're talking about Umjolo. Yet again, a very trendy topic. And if you want to be able to have me answer your questions, please use the hashtag and definitely go into detail as much as possible so I can be able to answer your questions. Welcome. Let's go. Do you know of a cooler title sequence? I don't think so. Yes, welcome to Lesedi podcast. There are a few people that have been waiting for some time. From 9:14, Tom Futi says, I can't wait, lol, lunch with Gogo. Zintle says, patiently waiting. Gabby says, Togoza Gogo, wash hands. And what is this wash hands emoticon? Because I don't get to see it on my side. I wonder, hey, because clearly I've been using it the wrong way if there's a wash hands emoji. Lesedi, she says, so is just doing a whole dance because she's excited, okay? And yeah, there's many of them. Bomgazi. I don't know how to say this name. Ngagisang. Yeah. I will really appreciate if you can get a reading today, as that is a lot. Is going on. Okay, share your story so we can actually be able to see it. Says Kona, says Noxolo, Togoza abantu abadala, Makhosi. Jomo says, lunch with Gogo. It's good to have another session with you. Can't wait for our Gogo. I'm right here. And this list is endless. Even a Wendy, Ndombi, Delhi, Sesiko, I think this thing just moved so fast, I almost missed that name. And Olwame says, Sogoza Gogo, let's do this. Lunch with Gogo. Hey, guys, I love that. Also, please do share the stream on all the different platforms that you are on respectfully, so that we can also let other people know that Zakipango 12, Zakipango lunch. I hope you guys have something healthy that you're snacking on and you're enjoying your lunch break right now. I'd also like to share a brief message. Obviously, we start with the brief message that we get to share. And I want to be able to talk about not forgetting who you are, even in a relationship, because we come together with the people that we love because we see so much light in them, so much similarity, so much interest. And you see, you feel even someone has a well of knowledge and they can teach you, Let me put that down briefly. And we come together because it's so reciprocal until such a point where even if you may not be using your words, action-wise, your body is telling. Your actions are telling. What you do or what you don't is telling. And I find that a lot of us like to overlook things that are very much in our faces. You end up even being caught in a loop, in a cycle that's never ending. You can almost even bet your last dollar on which day it's going to come and how, because there's no change in behavior. What you may be communicating, what's being communicated to you, may not be landing in such a way of your understanding, whether you're mindful of it or you literally choose to ignore it because, you're uncomfortable, you're not ready, or it's going to, maybe put you at a big test in terms of also for you to learn about yourself and how vulnerable you can be. I think that's one thing that always dictates and leads to some of the stories we're going to be reading today is our inability to see ourselves. And also, I love that one of DMX's last message before he passed, may he rest in power, was when someone shows you who they are, like, believe them. Like, don't, not at your understanding, but in how they're displaying their actions. And in that way, you can also know how to approach the situation, because they've shown you that they have a disregard, or they care, or, you know, they notice, or they're present and they're aware. In all the different scenarios we find ourselves in, at the end of the day, we live and love in growth. And if there's no growth and there's no change, or a certain energy that's so inviting and sustains itself, even, that whenever you go through any problems in the world, it's easier to get back into gear, because you tackle the issue and not feel like each other are an issue, you know? So yeah, let's go. Who's first up? Udineo says, lunched with Gogo. Hi, Gogo. Thank you for bringing back Umjolo topic. I would like a general reading about my love life and what's going on and what are the ancestors saying. Okay. Sure. Let's go. So your card read today talks about strength. You look like someone who has a level of balance, or likes and yearns for a level of balance. Also routine. You like things knowing, or you like knowing when things are going to happen and how. So you can prepare yourself for moments like that, because you deal with a lot of anxiety, which forces you to have a lot of strength. And you actually do have the strength, because one of your ancestors is showing themselves in the form of a lion. And look at that beautiful mane. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look how beautifully dressed she is as well. She's adorned by nature itself, and it's calling the strength characteristics to be coming out at this moment. It's almost like you're being tested in this time. But this is the person that you are. You're quite regal. You're someone who's quite poised. Like, you've done the work. It's time for you to actually reap the rewards, because look, there's a whole vine of wine, of grapes that could obviously turn into wine, as well as those pentacles being materialism, money. It's about progress. It's about development. And it looks like you are the person that you think you are in this regard. The struggle that I see you having in your relationship, or lack there of a relationship, is that I feel like maybe you haven't found your match. This person has got a lot of solo and independence about them, you know, almost like they're reaching into talking to their ancestors, or having animals around them, nature environments. This person looks like they're in solitude. Look, the repetition also, because there's a bird even in the other one. This person, you know, to me, this person is currently not in a relationship. There's an independence about this person, or if they are in a relationship, they haven't quite met their match. And it says here, express your joy. So again, look at the lone and the full heart also, almost like, I don't think this person is in a relationship. I don't think so, Dineo. You can tell me otherwise. But you're going to find the person that you're looking for. And if you are in a relationship, you need to express your joy. And expressing your joy could also be talking about all the things that make up your joy. So yeah, interesting, actually. I'm going to get a final card, especially because it was about ancestors. A card for Dineo, please. Spirit. Yo, I feel like there was a change in mood all of a sudden. I don't know if I'm the only one who felt that. Come on, Spirit. Not the deck. Let's go with soul lessons. Thank you. A card for Dinero, please. Ooh. What is that? There's a card here and it says, love your spirit. I like that, actually. That looks like someone who's taking care of themselves, that's pulling back, that's spending a lot of time with themselves, that's doing the work to take care of the spirit. It looks like someone, again, back in solitude, that independence of knowing how to take care of yourself, and the richness of that red is all around her. So Yeah, that's interesting. Who's next, Touch? D-Rap says lunch with Gogo. Tokoza Gogo, I've been passing for my ancestors to remove my partner in my life because I feel like he's toxic. But weeks later, I found out that I'm pregnant. Ooh. Can I get answers card, please, for me? Raps. Yeah, my G. What a very difficult position you find yourself in. But it's interesting that you've been asking for this person to be away from your life, like to get out of your life. But you've been carrying on having sex with this person, almost like you are not sure, you know? You can't give so much of yourself but also be asking for different energy. Like, what positivity will that birth? And in no way am I judging you. I'm just trying to think of the confusion that you're setting, even with your intentions. You're asking for something separate to what you're currently interjoining. Your cards, firstly, is the hermit mode. You need to go into yourself. You need to pull back into yourself and understand the person that you are. There's a gift that's currently not being used right now. And it uses a lot of nature as well in terms of plants more than anything. Again, the lion animal is back. But look, it's affirmated by the magician. This is someone who's able to get information, use their intuition, like literally call things into action, into being. This is someone who is powerful beyond their measure, whether they know it or not, actually. And that's for you to do the work. But that's why you're being called into hermit mode, for you to move in the situation so you can realize even how it's supposed to look when you're in this mindset and when you're using this gift. I'm seeing here, there's a lot being offered. There's a lot being offered for you. So this child also might not be a bad thing, because I feel like you need to pull in a bit in terms of, I feel like this child is going to have a way of calming your spirit. I feel like you need a very big distraction, and nurturing and taking care of a child, I feel like it's going to be distraction enough for you. You find yourself in situations that are not necessarily good for you, and you need to pull back. I love that it's also a mom that's giving here a younger girl these flowers. So you're going to have a gift for this child by being their parent, even if the relationship is over. You being pregnant does not necessarily mean that your relationship has to continue. Make sure that the child and their dad have a relationship, but doesn't mean that you have to have a relationship with this person. It's considering that he's toxic. And also his behavior towards this child with the same toxicity that he was using for you. That will tell you what's going on with you, because at the end of the day, this is who you are. You're an empress. You're someone worth celebrating. But the way you're describing your relationship, it does not seem like that's the energy that you're getting back. Therefore, you're actually even overwhelmed by the role you're given, and the audience is not necessarily allowing you to even reach that level, because you're still stuck in the pettiness of not being able to communicate or express vulnerability in your relationship. That's like shared commonly between the two of you guys. Another card I can pull for you. I'm gonna go with this one. You're off the bat. You got 3 cards here. It says shine your light on yourself. Again, hermit mode. It says pull back. Also look at this image. It's almost like a tree is smiling, and there are the eyes, and the moon is like a forehead, almost like a third eye also opening. So the closing of those eyes, because it looks like that person is in the dark in terms of sight, opens the third eye, which is much lighter, and connects with the smile. The smile also looking like a plant, as if like you're rooted. You have to get that passion also with the purple in terms of pulling back towards yourself. Like, you have to use a lot of natural elements. It says take risks in your work. Doing things the way you've been doing them will not produce doing things the way you've been why am I dyslexic today? Doing things the way they've always been done produces the same, often mediocre results. Shine the light on yourself by finding a new, better solution. The second card was connect. Living in a vacuum of ignorance is spiritually lethal and physically damaging. When you're connected to the knowledge of your body, fear dissipates and you gain the power of self-healing. Again, you're going back to that picture. I hope I didn't shuffle. There's a picture here that was so representative of that. Where is it? It's the hermit mode. But I feel like there was another picture, maybe in the previous one. So it's the hermit mode with the self-care. And the last card is safeguard. Choose whom you share your dreams with carefully. People don't always wish you well. Avoid negative energy and doubt so that your dreams are safeguarded. Safeguard your dreams. There's something that you're being told within your dream state. You feel almost like you've already gotten your answer, but you want to fight the inevitable. If it means you have to move and end that relationship, you definitely must. You have a new child coming and you have to take care of that person. They need you well for you to incubate them well, and give them the life that they need to fully develop, especially into a happy child. Your current situation is not helpful of that. Retreat, hermit mode, do what you need to do. Even if it means moving or changing environments around you, you really have to be well to actually mother a child. What's next, Touch?
Let's see.
Woo, this is quite long. Lesedi says, towards Gogo, please pull a card for me. I've been single for more than a year, and previously I have met one prophet who told me my then boyfriend is not approved by my ancestors. Told me who I should date. I was in denial for a long time because I used to dream a lot about him before we had gotten into a relationship. 2 years after the prophecy, things started getting messy. We broke up, and recently I got another prophecy from a different person telling me about the very same guy. I had to.
I think the comment was a bit too long, so it didn't show the full story.
Ooh.
If I can find it on Facebook.
Also, just to summarize, Touch, do you understand what she means? That the one prophet told her about her then boyfriend, and then that there wasn't him, and then there was someone else that she should be dating rather, but she was in denial for a long time and remained in this relationship, but she was getting dreams about this relationship that she's in.
Okay, I think she wants maybe a corporate on this issue of her yet denied with this individual.
2 years after the prophecy, broke up. So they broke up anyway. Is this the guy that she was prophesied to date? Is that so? What's going on? Recently, I got another prophecy from a different person telling me about the very same guy.
I think she was in a relationship with the wrong person.
And was in denial.
It was in denial, yes.
So, okay, the relationship was delayed until 2 years later.
Yeah.
Did they end up dating?
I don't know if they end up dating.
Because the line says here, before we had gotten into a relationship, I used to dream about him a lot before we got into a relationship. So they ended up dating. I don't know whether we're talking about guy 1 or guy 2. Because it's my then boyfriend. Is that the same person also? Am I overthinking this?
I'm confused, Elena. Maybe we can ask her to...
Please do that. Yeah, no, let's move on to someone else, please. Okay, also after Olam, can you go to Ms. T? Because I feel like there's a lot of unpacking that needs to go on there. Olam says, what's up, my G? Lunch with Gogo, Togoza Gogo since 2019 to 2019. I dream about a specific ex at least once a year. In my dreams, I'm helping them with something, advice or a lift, etc. May I get a card reading about this? Ooh, this is so interesting. I feel and you guys have dated before, so you guys had a strong connection. Miss T, you got 1202. I think maybe you're not done helping this person. You're not done helping this person, or rather, you're not done having a relationship with this person. Doesn't mean that you're going to go back into dating again because it's about an ex. But I think also a lot of it, there's still something, and because you are a person of sight as well, I feel like maybe in the form of a prophecy of help to this person.
Yeah, the chat feed is cut already at 12:06.
The chat feed.
Yeah, like what it shows, like it only goes back now to 12:06.
No, I've got it here on my screen, so maybe.
Okay, read it if you have it.
Yeah, I know, I will, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause I can't see it.
You guys went through a lot of hardship in your relationship. To a point where someone feels like they were supposed to have been redeemed, like judgment, like where there is like wrong card, justice. These people at the bottom, these kids are looking up to this other kid at the top who's very vibrant in color, and this person is like has a voice because that trumpet is like it carries over distance. They're quite influential and they represent something since they have a flag even. These kids are like almost reaching out to this person, whether in conversation or in prayer, salutation, whatever the case is, and it's talking about judgment. Almost like this person is the final person who can make a decision on this. Almost like it's not really over, like we're still waiting for like a verdict. Because also, yeah, the conversation hasn't been had. Forgive and forget. There's a conversation that hasn't been had. I don't think you guys are done talking. You guys are gonna still come together in each other's lives. It may not necessarily be to date, but I don't think so. I don't think so. Final card, please, for Warram. A lift and advice is an offering. It's like an extension of your hand. It's you wanting to be there for someone. So that's why I'm saying that it may not necessarily show up in the romantic sense, but you guys have to sit down about something. There's something that has to be discussed. Accept what is. And look at that. That world is beating on his chest. Almost like say it with your chest, the phrase, and the whole galaxy is there all around it. The moons are all there, like the galaxy. It's quite a attuned person when you look at how this flow all the way through his body and almost like in synergy. You have to accept what is. What are you denying? Why is there judgment? What are you denying? Yeah. So we're gonna go to Ms. T, who says, "So Gogo, I've been with this guy for 6 years. I'd like to know if we have a future together. Please throw some cards for me." I think Ms. T is part of the people who were talking about touch previously while we were prepping and saying how we like to oversight a lot of things in hopes that things will get better. By now, you shouldn't be asking that question, not 6 years later with the same human. You know what I mean? You can't still be unsure. Not quite convinced. Not quite convinced. 6 years later, dog. No ways. Dude, I'd even be married by then. I think, if you're going to be in a relationship for that long, there should be some kind of something that would have taken place. Let's give her answers. That's interesting. Why would it be up to you? Do you have another love offer?
Does it feel like there's contemplation?
Yeah, it's got an energy of that because there's no way, like, no, bruh, anything you do for 6 years, whether you're killing it or like you're not making it, it's not what you expected it to be at that time. Yeah, no, there's no gray. I don't think there's no gray.
Why do people do that? Like you have the next person ready.
Oh, we don't like being alone. Touch. We don't like being alone. Being alone is as if it's a curse or unkulunkulu's khohliwe, whereas they save you from so much drama because it doesn't mean you being in a relationship. It's great. And that's the misconception, is that you see the timeline, you see people's relationships and the story that they're telling you guys, because it's what they're telling you guys. They won't show you obviously all their difficulties. So our perception also towards relationships is that it has to look a certain way. And if mine doesn't look like that, that means we're not doing so well. Or, but we forget there's also stages to this thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this person is coming across as a Knight of Cups. This is an offer from a person. This looks like someone who's very, very solid in themselves. Someone who they're not a page, and a page is like a young person, like really, really young, almost like does not commit to responsibilities and stuff. They still like the idea of. So a knight in comparison to a king, which will be the ultimate. A knight would be someone who's no longer a kid, but is ready. They're offering something very tangible because they are ready to move into them being as a king. And this is a love offer, as you can see. This person is on a horse handing you, and this person has been in motion because look at the horse. It's taking its steps. Look at also the, I don't know, I feel like even if these feathers, these wings were feathers, it'd still be showing direction of the wind to show that this person is in motion, but they're actually made of steel. Look at this guy's chest. It's all the way out. This is a very confident person. And they want to offer something to you. It's someone who's also reserved a lot of finances for themselves, almost like they've set up their world. They know where they know all the investments. They've tucked away money in different spaces. They know they've got money on their brain. So they're a person that's always like very progressive when it comes to money and handling monies and just making moves in their general lives and how to take care of themselves. That's why I'm saying it feels like there's a choice here, because it's up to you. It's up to you. Again, look at the repetition of these wings and that card. When I made reference to the wings, it's almost like it's directing you a particular way, so that you can also have your joy. Look at that smile in the middle of of that girl's face. She looks like someone who's really, really confident, and there's a whole rainbow behind her head. She's touching her heart and she's pointing at you. Apparently, it promises and guarantees success. But that's a choice that you have to make. But I feel like you're stuck between two minds about something. I know it might seem like I didn't answer your question, but because you're questioning actually your 6-year relationship and asking about a future with this guy, I feel like you may be with someone who hasn't reached the level that you guys were both hoping for at this time. And it's making you feel unsafe or feel like the trust is gone in terms of, can you guys take care of one another at a certain level, of comfort and spirituality, that balance on so many levels. Actually, it's not just on a financial perspective. This person, I don't know if they're matching you because you've recently met someone or you know of someone who actually ticks all those boxes for you. And that's why this person right now is like, 6 years, Maji, after 6 years, I would know. Okay? I would know. Study any subject for 6 years. After 6 years, you know. Another question?
Okay, closing.
Zintle says, hi Gogo, can I please get a reading? I have been having weird dreams about my partner bringing someone else into our space. But in the dream, I'm not bothered. I just leave without fighting. Oh, girl, it sounds like you are on your last straw. Like, because this person has already put you through too much in the relationship now. But if it gets to a point where this person starts bringing other people, you're all fought out. You're all fought out, and you want to bounce. You're strong enough to not fight the situation, because if someone can also do that without having the conversation, this person has no regard for you. I don't think. See what I mean? Your final card. Let me not even start at the back, yo. This is how you are. I feel like this is you, your personality. You're almost like a happy-go-lucky person. You have your creativity in terms of your childhood, and you tapping into that inner child is still very active. You can play the Mickey at the drop of a hat. You're quite passionate as well in terms of the relationship or anything that you're in. There's a vibrancy about this card. There's plants growing. It's a healthy environment. This child does not look like they're unwell. They've got blue eyes. They're wearing a headgear made of sunflowers. So the environment you're in usually nurtures you, and that's what you bring as a person. The brightness of that sun is so very strong. I feel like you're also, most importantly, within your faith system. This is the high priestess. This is someone. Look at the continuation also of the yellow and the red. In this instance, there's still more fruit. It looks like, but there's plants. I think this is a pomegranate, if I'm looking at it correctly. Also, the moon is by your feet. It almost seems like that piece of paper says tarot, that's rolled up in her hand, almost like she's a keeper of knowledge, of secrets that's not known by a lot of people, because it's almost like hiding under her robe and it's on her lap. She's also got a cross, which could be a symbolism of a symbolism of a collective that she's in, impandi that she's in, or religious or spiritual group that she's in. I love the balance of the black and white on the pillars. Almost like this person is fully aware of herself. She knows her light, she knows her dark. I wonder what the B and J mean. It could be an obvious thing, but it could also be very specific to you. This is who you are innately. And I don't feel like you're paying homage enough to using this. You're not inviting this a lot more. This is where you should be. It says here, make no judgments. Look at that. You're talking about people entering your space, but also look at the body language. People are looking away from each other. They've got their hands on their waist, almost looking very apprehensive. People have arms that are crossed. Most of them have their backs towards each other, except for that one gentleman. Maybe he's the one who's introducing everyone, and everyone is like, nah, bruh, I'm cool. And this is what is the final card for you. Accept disappointments gracefully. So that's why you are unbothered, love. You've reached the pinnacle of how you can react to this. Yes, it's going to be a shock, but look at you. Even in how I described you earlier, the childhoodness, those ponytails, those pigtails, but you're also an adult because you got a handbag and loafers. So yeah, look at that black and white also is coming back in half of that background frame. It's the dark and it's the light. Knowing just what to use and when to use it. It's also part of the color outfit that you're wearing there. I feel like there's a lot of connection in this thing, and you already know. The thing is, I feel like you already know. The dream came to affirm what you already know. Use your intuition like you're so boss. You almost like anything that you would manifest will come into being. Be very detailed. Be very detailed in how to handle this energy and how you should. I mean, I feel like even on a personal perspective, if I am bothered by something or I'm challenged by something and I don't get bothered by it and I just fight, I just leave without fighting, I think I've long concluded in my mind on where I placed my energies on that particular conversation. It's like you're not inviting yourself or allowing yourself to get into a pigsty just because the pigs look like they're having fun. That's the energy I'm getting. What's good, Touch?
Okay. Let's pull up Stambiso.
Let me also scroll. Oh no. Sitabile also. So deep, so hectic. So what did you put? Stambiso. Please, card read. I love this woman, but she woke up one morning and told me she doesn't see me the same way. Please share some light. Tata, please. So I love this woman, but one day she just woke up and told me she doesn't see me the same way. Did this person ever dream about you? Did this person get information about you? Also, why not have a conversation with you? You're in the relationship with her after all. This is so interesting. This is an offer still. And a new one. New energy. Oh, snap. Okay, I get it. So this is you, Maji. Um, this card is back again, and it's the Eight of Pentacles. And again, as I described, this person is a very independent person, someone who has a lot to give and a lot to offer. They've got a certain stillness about them, and this I feel is your energy. I feel like you have a lot to offer, but I don't think that you are paired up with the right person. Because here is the Ace of Cups, and anything that's ace is the beginning of, it's a new cycle of, and the cups is an offer of love. And look, it's going to be overflowing. Look at that. And it's also being handed almost like at the palm of someone's hand, as if they're going to match your energies. They're going to pour into it. They're going to breathe life into it. This card came in as an energy for you, and it says, grieve your losses. And that's why I'm saying there's a new offer. And you're not matched with the person that you feel like you loved. I don't think so. This is basically what you would call a sacrifice. Make necessary sacrifices. There's things that you have to shed, and it might be this current love interest that you feel so strongly for, to make way and be able to receive this energy. Because if someone is not going to give you the same energy or effort that you bring, then I don't think that's a good relationship to find yourself in. There we go. Yeah, you're ready. Sure. You also have a strong intuition. Hey, look at what this lady's holding in her hands. Please autofocus. She's holding an ankh in her hands. She's emulating light. There's a strong power about this person. You have a whole kingdom behind you. Like this, you make fire at a whim. You're quite powerful in how the image of you looks like. So maybe you're not giving yourself enough credit in terms of feeling like you can let go of this particular relationship. But I think it's in your best interest if you do. Marcus.
You Mitzi.
Metsi says, Thokozani Gogo, hashtag lunch with Gogo. How does one navigate Umjolo and relationships in general after learning that idlozili no monangawe, which is very true. Our ancestors don't like to feel like they're competing, guys. So it's very important that you spend as much time in Samo as much as you do with your partner, because they're going to feel like you'd rather be there. And that's something that they've afforded you more than you being where you're most sustained, where your light is actually coming from. I got 3 cards for you. Yeah, I think because look where you are in the state of you learning about idloziliba no moya monangawe. Because this person is blindfolded. There's not enough communication, because usually swords speak of communication. It's an airborne. You use it striking the air to make contact with your target. So the communication is not enough. It's not going so well, especially because by the time you put a third party to this conversation, it affects it negatively. It even starts making it rain. There's a lot of gloom about it. Whereas the 2 swords could represent the fact that it's you and your ancestors. You should be talking together. You should be aligned. Earth, wind, and moon. Almost like all the elements are there. Now just spark it and put the fire to the conversation. Because it doesn't end well in terms of, look at that moon. It's almost like it's got a somber look to it. This guy is turning his back to all these 8 cups that are standing up at attention, almost like they're not satisfactory for him. Because they have not spilled. This is something that's still an asset to him. but o ka re a kgotsofale le ntho a nang le yona, o ka re a bone the value of what he has. Therefore, he's walking off and wandering and seeking to find more information elsewhere. And that, again, these swords are very representative of a conversation that's happening between two people in terms of you and your ancestors. Because the question is specifically about how to navigate Umjolo and relationships in general after learning that it was Linomona. So what about Linomona? Linomona? You know, are you spending the time that you should be? Are you doing what you need to? Has this person introduced himself in a more respectful way, like wapahla, you know, like some kind of formality to show that there's also respect from all around and all the different parties. The next card you get is Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So you see, there's a relationship that your ancestors originally know you in right now. Why are you unbound? Why do you need to unbound? Like almost like you have to cut a cord. There's a soul contract that you have, you know, that has to do with your past life. So, or maybe it was like you know, that there's already a contract that's been placed, whether it's you know it or not, or it's been shown to you in your dreams. But I don't feel like in a spiritual context, when it comes to your ancestors, you're a free person to just be in a relationship and not struggle with the dynamic of those. Transformation, things are changing at a cellular level. Deep healing. That's so interesting. Deep healing again goes back to going into the depths of the past lives. Like it's deep. It's you understand how the root was, how the connection was made, how much it affects you. There are things changing at a cellular level. That's like so minuscule, and it's deep. It's you can't ignore because it's only going. And it's also gonna take a long time, I think, for you to start seeing it because it's gonna start from working on the inside. Look at this woman. She's sitting in her power. She's sitting on a throne. This is someone who's really, really connected and deeply rooted in whatever it is that she's able to manifest. So you're quite a powerful person as Gogo. Yeah, there's a connection that you haven't quite unbound from. Look, these spirits want to elevate and levitate and go towards the light, but look, they're being anchored by something. So this relationship has not ended, or the connection that you had here has not ended to a point where this can start being clear to welcome a new love into your life. So I think that's what your issue is, rather. Maybe you should follow up with a reading, get someone to read you, or contact my Ndomba, my practice, with the number below, and then you can also schedule an appointment to get a more in-depth conversation and a read about yourself. And if you want to be like her and many others on the show today, I think sometimes some conversations there's too much of thin liners, you know, that small detail. We want to really unpack and look at what the issues are that are influencing this relationship. Also, a good chance for you to also feel heard, because this is also one-way traffic. There could be parts where I could be missing it by a level of detail, you know, because we're not actually also sharing that environment or space together. So if you want to be like those people and get a one-on-one reading with myself and my practice, please use the number. You can WhatsApp or you can text, SMS. Calling, please rather avoid calling. We're always on lines with people talking about the different issues. Also, if you can't access this number, there's also an email address. It's lesedisangoma@gmail.com. I'll make that available as well. lesedisangoma@gmail.com. Who's next? Touch. How many minutes we got? 15 still. 16. Yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Didn't I say I found something? Yes, Sitabile. At 12:43. So I was like, I've been in a relationship for 11 years with my baby daddy, but angikwazi ukuhlukana naye. Why is that so difficult? Angikwazi ukuhlukana naye. I don't know whether this is something blocking me if there's something blocking him from proposing, because we have been through a lot. 11 years left. Did you hear the conversation about the 6-year relationship? 11 years, guys. Like, we should like have celebrated like a 10-year anniversary already, like some party already, taking a grand ass vacation as a married couple, because like we've been at it for 10 years. What you say?
I wonder if these people, before they come and talk to you, or on the live like this, right? Do they address this with their partners?
Hey, these people are avoiding touch. They're playing an avoiding act, but the thing is that they don't realize that it affects them still. So whether you avoid it or not, it doesn't take the situation away. It just means that you're ignoring it. You're putting it in the corner of a room and acting like it's not there. Whereas on an emotional and spiritual level, it affects you. It's even worse when it gets to on a mental way and you start even noticing in a person like a colleague saying, "What's wrong? Are you okay?" Because it's actually starting to show in how you carry yourself. We can't be toxic towards each other, guys. We can't say I love you and then come back and be toxic towards each other. Some things, yes, you may not be able to identify off the bat, but what are we communicating about? Like, what conversations are we having that we're not sharing these situations we find ourselves in? Show you. There's something very deceptive about this relationship because the moon card talks about deception. It talks about things not being out in the open and them being clear. It talks about you needing to be watchful of your back. There's a dis-ease about this picture, about this card. Look at those dogs are like aggressively looking at the moon, almost like, and this person's mouth is like he's facing down. He looks like someone who's not trying to make eye contact or open his eyes, at least to seem like they're open. Look at the Scorpio coming out of nowhere. Yes, the second one. This all small letters, lesedisangoma@gmail.com. The second one. Thank you, baby. Yeah, please copy that touch and put it up as well as part of the comments, just so that they can see it comes from us. King of Pentacles. When ntho e khawatsang ke gore motho o na le tšhelete or wa o tlhokomela, I think that's the thing. But this person, I don't think they've enabled you or empowered you, rather, to be able to empower yourself. That even if this relationship ends or whatever, you can actually call things of your own. The King of Pentacles. This is someone who's supposed to have so much authority in terms of that they're quite powerful in what they can provide. But I also feel like there's a certain level of arrogance or aggression about this person, like almost like they're not a person that's easy to talk to. I mean, look at the animals on either side of his chair, and the one that he has by his foot here. It's blended into the environment, almost like it's the last thing that you'd see, but it's also so close enough to strike you. And he's the one that's stopping it from moving, if it was like a live animal type of thing. But also, if you look at these bulls on either side, Pella, when you have bulls like this, it almost seems like you're aggressive. You're not a person that's easy to come close to. If you saw a bull like this, you wouldn't go pet it. It's not like a cub. So you wouldn't go pet it. It wouldn't be easy to bring conversations to this person. So I don't think this person is easy to talk to. This man of yours. Hi, Gogo. You need to nurture yourself. You need to strengthen your gifts because you're going to have to rely on yourself. You're ready. There's a growth that you should be taking, or should be taking form right now in you. And it's not happening because there's something not very comforting or bringing a lot of peace about where you find yourself. So you end up finding yourself worrying a lot about it, that you don't end up focusing and paying attention to where you need to be. It says offer support, release control. Resist the tendency to advise and control others. Unsolicited advice may exacerbate rather than alleviate the problem. Know when to hold your tongue and just lend an ear. So maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you're the one who's not hearing what is being communicated to you. So that's why the control and keeping a firm hand on things. This is also bringing a different perspective. Resist the tendency to advise and control others. What are you not hearing? Support others, release control. What are you not hearing? What are you not hearing or seeing? Because again, it's still deception. Something is not at what it seems like at face value. One more card, please. Thank you. Transformation. Practice transformation. So the change that has to happen here. Explore, reach out, and form new relationships. Allow yourself to be transformed by others. Transformation is creation. Forming of new relationships. I mean, like, if there is deception in this relationship and it comes out, it'll be very difficult not to have an action. So the transformation card could also speak to a way in which you're going to deal with the situation in your relationship. And also to be transformed by others, almost watch what they do, let them teach you about themselves so that they can help you make the decisions that you need to make. Transformation is creation. So there's a new solution that needs to be brought into this. I'm more worried about the deception. Please keep your eyes open. Be mindful of what is being communicated around you. I don't know if I answered your question, but I feel like I may have overly answered your question that it left you now confused. Okay, let's go. We got time for 2 more. Patience. So Gogo, please please card me. I have an on and off with my exes. Exes? How many, girl? And I'm the one who gets bored of the relationships and end them. One of my exes back and wants to get serious now. So weren't they serious before? When you're in a relationship, no, Patience. You and your partner don't seem like you're suited for each other off the bat, because clearly he wasn't serious when he was in a relationship with you before, so he wasn't taking you seriously.
And the
exes part is you are too available. It sounds like you're too available, not even in a shaming you kind of way. I'm talking about you're open. You're very open to making connections with a lot of people that you end up even. Do you know what you're looking for?
And she says she gets bored of the relationship.
I was about to get to that as well, that she gets bored of the relationships. I don't think it's the relationships that you get bored of. I just think that you haven't. What would you say, Touch?
I think this is, you see, where someone is looking for something. There is something that's short within you that you're looking for in other people that you won't find, because this is relevant to you as a person, whatever it is. That's why I'm correct. Because once they get there, it doesn't meet the need anymore. Points to the next one, you know?
And she's actually missing the gems that she has in front of her. She's squandering. She's squandering because look at these cups behind her that are still full. But she's sad and focusing on her losses or the lack of things. And it's not like you can get 5 out of 5. We're not saying go for a 2 out of 5 or 1 out of 5, but by the time you chop off other things that a person is trying to give you and offer you, like no, man, I don't know.
This is a patience thing for me, wanting perfection.
And she's missing things that are very important. And again, this is like talking about a conversation between two. So now when there's exes involved, like sis confused, sis panin, you know, are we competing for your attention? Are we competing for you to see who's the most serious, who most cares about you? My sinuses just started, like, oh my God. Really?
I wonder if this is one of I know my worth situations, one of those. You know?
Well, it's quite detrimental.
Oh. What's your take on that, Gogo? I know my worth.
You can't know your worth, but excuse me. One more. Thank you. Sinuses 10-0 for Gogo. Yeah, what an awkward time. Excuse me. Where are my wipes? Somewhere? Not here. I actually saw them somewhere while we were setting up.
Your wipes.
I know my worth. You can know your worth, guys, but also understand that someone else also knows their worth. So, excuse me. There's something about I know my worth that says you're always going to continuously be tested for the next grade. Like, do you qualify? Thank you. For the next grade. Like, is this person worth me? You know, stuff like that. Like there's something about it that's not very honest or kind to the other person that you're dealing with. Excuse me, sorry guys. Not an interesting segment of the show. Yeah, you see, this card is very describing of you. When a patience, I get bored easily. So look at all those options that you have. The more that you have, the more attention you have, the more it excites you. But also the repetition of always two staying behind. Look at that. Two souls are left behind, two cups are left standing while the other three have fallen. I feel like you really have a choice between two people that are solid, but there's something about you that is we try it into your tongue. It's almost like a default action for you, almost like how you distract yourself when things are getting serious. So it's almost like a self-sabotage move with keeping these exes on and off with exes. Are you sleeping with all of these people? You know, is one of the questions. How much of an exchange is there between you and these people? Because now you're all in a relationship together. What kind of solidity can you find in one relationship when it's so open to a lot of people? And again, it's not a place of judgment. It's like I'm reading the story for what it is and what makes sense to me. 3 minutes left. I'm going to throw a card for today's energy. Thank you, everyone who. I'm going to take these. Overall energy is a Queen of Swords. This is someone being boss at communication. This is someone who's a clear thinker, level-headed. You know, a lot of the cards that we spoke about today came through. The first card for us today is the Fool. This is someone who's like willing to put themselves out there, who's not afraid to let their opinions know, or not even let their opinions know. They got so much energy that they go into everything. They've got a carefree nature about them. They're not apprehensive at all. They're not also very fussy on detail. They're just like a happy-go-lucky person. Almost like I'm willing to try everything once type of person. Doesn't add the energy that's for adoption today. Because you're attracting even animals, they're up on their hind legs for you, almost like they understand what it is that you do. You are the energy we're meant to carry today is one that's carefree, that doesn't overthink, that's really jolly. Part of that is going inward, almost like abandon the energy that you've been holding so far and letting control you, lead you. Move from that and look at it maybe from a different perspective, says the Hermit. This is the Queen of Cups. This is someone who has a beautiful heart, someone who's got a lot to offer. Like this is like a wife material, someone who's able to stay within her power, diligently take care of her home, yet be a powerful person even in their own thinking, have a great balance in their life, you know, be in position and be trusted with what, like, I can't even say the most precious, you know, because it's like the crown is precious, the trophy she's holding is precious. This is someone who's trusted with a lot of importance, someone who's very well-rounded. Yeah. Again, there's a lot of power that's had by this person. A lot of power. They can tap into the spirit on a whim. But this person is not. This person is not. If anything, it comes back into the conversation of the hermit, because this person is on a boat with a child, almost being ferried across an ocean or a river. Like they're leaving something behind, and they've got their faces covered. It looks like they might be in it for a long journey if they're dressed like that, also to protect them from all the different weathers that they're going through. But this person has a lot of baggage in terms of what's not communicated, or something that was communicated made them leave, but they look like they're burdened with stuff that's going on mentally more than anything. And look how light they carried, like they're traveling. They're not, their baggage is not in the sense of possession. It's more what's weighing on their hearts and what's difficult. An option is being given. It's either you take on the world, which is what she's currently looking like she's doing. She's not choosing to stay with what's already there. Look at, there's an anchor here at the bottom of this wand. It looks like it's purposefully placed there, whereas the other one is still in his hand, almost like trying to find a place for it. So do I stay with what I have, or do I leave and take on the world? This person then starts to mission the oracle of all oracles. This person's energies are repeated so many times. High priestess, the magician, the the hermit. This is someone who, if they stay within themselves and they pull into themselves, they're going to be able to come back with the right energies to take on the world. They'll stop thinking everything is personal and just deal with it as it comes. I feel like there's something that you have to let go of or make a decision over, you know, so that you can be able to free yourself. And that's the area, the energy that you're carrying today. I don't know who can relate to that. I feel like I can relate to that. I don't know if I've just read myself. But there's a lot of wisdom that comes from speaking to our ancestors and throwing cards or whatever your medium is, horapela, whatever you choose to do. If you intentionally want to get the answers or open yourself up to being in a conversation, even if it extends further than the tools that you use, it's always important for you to take care of that. Thank you to everyone that tuned in. I really sincerely appreciate each one of you guys. And yeah, for sharing the streams, for engaging, for spamming my comments. Also, I see you, ATM Forex. Thank you so much to each and every one of you guys. Have an amazing and enjoyable Tuesday. I should actually be in a reading right now at 1 p.m. So I gotta go. I got other things that I need to do and more spirits to read. Catch us tomorrow for another one of these. Togozan. Kinna kokumoyo.